Hi, my name is Robert. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. First thing I'm going to do today is fill in the back side of this chip in this headlight lens. I've ran it through the dishwasher. Didn't seem to make a whole lot of difference. But I put a piece of Scotch tape over the hole. Now I'm going to fill it up and put some regular clear silicone in there to fill in the void. The purpose of doing that is to stop dirt and dust from getting in there and causing the reflector behind the light to decay. Next thing I'm going to do is replace this coolant bottle. As you can see, this one here, I think is probably old and it's stained where I can't hardly see in it. I got this coolant bottle from the salvage yard. It's just like 2 years old. It is a Volvo coolant bottle, so it's of good quality. And there's a date stamp on it somewhere, like right there. Anyway, got a little dirty in the transport, so I'm going to spray it off and install it instead of that one. I recently got this stuff here called oil eater. This stuff has been real good with cleaning stuff like that off. It's supposed to be non-toxic, biodegradable stuff, so I'm going to use this to clean off this bottle. There you have it. I just basically sprayed and wiped it off. If you want to get a toothbrush or something and get down to the nitty-gritty, you can. This is a coolant bottle going into the engine compartment, so I'm not going to be that serious about it. When you swap the bottle over, make sure you get the sensor out of the old bottle. And then you want to top the car off with coolant and start it, and make sure you get a low coolant light before you consider the job done. Okay, the new bottle's installed. Time to move on to the next project. I don't know if any of you noticed, but the car hasn't been reporting the ambient temperature. So today when I went to get a coolant hose that I had torn from the salvage yard, I found this coolant temperature laying under a vehicle at the salvage yard. So I purchased it, something like $5, and I'm going to go ahead and install it. Come under the front of the vehicle. You'll see this wire hanging here that somebody left abandoned. Probably got tore up in a minor accident or something. So I'm going to go ahead and plug the sensor into it. So there's the sensor. You could plug it into the fender just like that, and it will report the ambient temperature to the dash while you're driving around. Now this car is turbo. This tube right here is the turbo pressure tube, so that lets you know it's a turbo vehicle for Volvo. And it has a oil cooler down here on the back of the motor, little box down there. And when I was taking the gearbox out, I tore that coolant hose. So I went to the salvage yard and got this one off of a vehicle out there, and I'm going to try to splice it together with the existing one because it is different. I went to O'Reilly's and got this little coupler that's supposed to allow you to splice hoses together, so let's see how that works. Okay, I got this brass fitting I'm going to connect my coolant line with behind the motor. I got it from Home Depot. It's a 5/8. It's a perfect fit. This is the sleeve to the angle gear. This bevel part plugs into the transmission, and this part the gearbox plugs into. As you can see, there's flat tips on these teeth. If those teeth are pointy, it's worn out. I got this one off the donor car with the gearbox, and the teeth are good both directions. So I'm gonna put brake parts grease in there, and then I'm gonna slide the gearbox in it. You could probably use anti-seize as well, but I'm gonna use brake grease lubricant. I don't know if there's any requirement to put any kind of lubrication in there. I'm doing it so that if I ever need to get it off, hopefully it'll slide off and won't be stuck on the shafts. So you come under here and you can see the shaft and the seal on the transmission. I do not have a new seal. It would probably be best to put a new seal. Nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. So, and then I'm going to get the gearbox prepared and get it on there. Okay, I pushed it in as far as I could by hand, and as you can see inside, it's almost to the clip ring. Okay, here's the angle gear that I'm replacing it with. It's got a nut down there. Got a little bit of play. I can hear a little clicking in it. Not know if that's any problem or not. But as you can see, the splines in it appear to be good. They got flat tops on them. And when you turn this, that turns inside there. So I'm gonna wipe that out, and then I'm going to come on this side of it, pull that plug and tip it over to drain all the old angle gear lubricant out of it, and I'm gonna put some fresh oil in there. Okay, I opened the drain hole, drained out as much as I could into this container, and I found out what goes in there is 75 W90. So people say it's best to use the Volvo stuff. I bet that's true. I'm gonna put this Mobil 1 full synthetic gear lubricant in there and call it a day. Now most gearboxes, you fill them up until the oil is coming out of the threads. It looks like that may be doing this already. I'm gonna try to put that whole quart in there and hopefully it'll take it. So not sure exactly how much goes in there, but that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I can see the lubricant up to the threads, kind of oozing out of the threads, which is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and put the bolt in. Normally these type of gearboxes and manual transmissions, that's what you do. You find the top fill hole, you fill it up until it's coming out of there, and then you stop it. Okay, I installed the bolt and a new crust washer. Looks like the same washer that goes on the oil pan, so I'm ready to go ahead and lift this in place. And there's 5 bolts that hold it on, so I'm gonna get under there and take care of it. Okay, I have the gearbox in place, the coupler in between it, and I'm ready to start putting the bolts in. But don't do like I did. I tried to leave the coupler on the transmission and put the gearbox up, couldn't get it in. I tried to put the coupler on the front of the gearbox and work it up in there, couldn't get it in. You have to take the coupler off, lay it on the ground, work the gearbox up in there. You can support it by a jack or something. Slide it toward the driver's side. Put the coupler in, then slide the gearbox onto the coupler. Because any other way, you'll be wasting an hour like I did. I torqued down all 5 of the gearbox mount bolts, and I installed the bump mount and torqued that down. I tightened up the coolant line that I had pulled off and torn and put a coupler on it to fix it. I reinstalled the brackets on these lines here. Not sure if they're power steering lines. That's what they appear to be. So I put the brackets back on. I cleaned off the splines on this CV axle. I'm gonna put it back in, and it appears that I have a small hole right there in that CV axle, and it's slinging grease. I'm gonna wipe down that end of it, then I'm gonna go ahead and install it. Okay, I have the control arm on. I noticed that both tie rod ends are bad, so I'm gonna order a couple of those along with this motor mount here. And my Chariot is turning into a pumpkin, so I need to get home. So I'm gonna fill up the coolant and put this wheel on and put this wheel skirt on and get out of here. Had a crack in the front of the rocker panel, so I drilled a hole in it. If your holes in your fender is not flat, what I do, I put the sledgehammer behind it, the head of it, and then I tap it flat with the regular hammer so that those holes are nice and flat and smooth before I rivet this splash guard in it. Okay, I got 6 rivets there and 5 rivets on this side. So this side took 11. I got my bolt there, my bolt there, my bolt there. So That mud flap is installed nice and neat, and now the bumpers are pulled up tight to the car too. So done for the day. Put this wheel on and move this car out of my sister's way. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.